Hey guys, what happy Saturday afternoon. Sorry I'm late. I had a little hypoglycemic episode. I get like shaky. And I've been really good ever since I lost weight. I was really good. Like I used to get it really bad and then I lost weight and it was, it was really good. Like I barely got it because I used to get it all the time, dude. And lately I've been getting it back again. And this one was really bad. I had to lay down, but I'm good. I'm better now. I ate something. How's everybody doing? Dude, so I cannot get away from this case. There's like constantly there's like new things being released. And I don't mean that in a negative way, like I can't get away from this case. It's because like I feel like the more that I learn, the more that I'm like suspicious in some stuff. Like it's just crazy. So I'm sure you guys seen the videos released yesterday, which I want to watch them with you guys. In case if there are some people that haven't seen them yet. The one with how many guys has anybody not seen that one with JP, like John Paul on the grass having some kind of episode? Is there anybody that hasn't seen that? I'm just curious if there's some people that haven't seen it yet, which is, I hope there is actually. Or has everybody seen it? No? Okay. Dude, wait till you see it. I want to watch that with you. I want to watch uh the one that News Nation released, the one with where he's talking about releasing the photos. Those were all from yesterday. But first, let me read. Good. Okay, good, guys. We'll watch them together. But first, let me read this article from Daily Mail. Okay. I was going to order the divorce papers, but I figured they already have them, so it's going to probably get released. I don't actually have the hard copy of them, but you know how they kind of give the key points of what's in them. So it's the divorce papers from John's first wife and some stuff she said of what was going on. It's freaking crazy. Have you seen that article? I want to start out by reading that article and then we'll watch some videos. Okay. So, hey, what up? So first, now this article all day, I put it up and it has like some kind of glitch in it. So I'm going to try to put it up on the site. If it doesn't, I screenshot the article, but let me see if it'll work. It's just been crazy. It's like it has this weird thing that it just like it does weird things. But hold on, let me try. Hopefully it'll work. But I got to back up if it doesn't. All right. Okay, so the only reason I want to try, oh, it already went down. I just wanted to show you the pictures of these real quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hurry up and scroll through. You can see some of the pictures from, oh, actually, you know what? I have the pictures on my, never mind. So I have the pictures on my, I screenshot those in case. So this is, let me just show you a couple pictures. These are the pictures that are in that article. So this is a picture of his first wife. And then, hold on. And then they have like pictures of her wedding, Mica's first wedding, with supposedly he was JP's best friend, which is we'll touch base in the article. It explains everything. But this is them too. This is all in the Daily Mail article, which it's glitching out. So I just have the words that we'll read. But yeah, so he married them, as you can see. John Paul married. And then she cheated on him. He cheated on his wife. There's a couple other pictures here. Hold on. That's his first wife. That's them. This is just a screenshot of it. Okay. So since that will not let me click on it, I'll show you what it does. Look what it does. It keeps doing it too. It like you go to this, which hold on, let's see if I missed any pictures real quick. Because I don't have those screenshot, all of them. Let's just make sure. And then I'm going to read it, of course, but just in case if I missed any of the pictures so you guys could see, because it's going to go out. Oh, this one. I didn't get this one. Let me screen. So that's her first husband. Look how young she looks. Okay. Leaving his lawyer's office on Wednesday. And then I'm sure you guys all read this, which I don't know if I'm going to go over that. I'm sure you guys have read that. Well, I mean, maybe we will. Okay. So look, this is what happens. This. And then It will not let me finish. And Daily Mail's not a type that, because sometimes you have to subscribe to thing, but they're not the type you have to subscribe to read their articles. Like Fitz News, I had to subscribe. It was like $8 a month. All right, so good thing I did screenshot it. I got them all ready. So let's read this. It's pretty interesting here. And then, like I said, we'll watch the videos, guys. There's so much new stuff. Like I just last night was about to go to bed and Sarah's like, did you see this video? And I went down in like a 2-hour rabbit hole. I was like, man, I can't believe there's like new stuff. Okay, I guess tomorrow we're going to have to continue it because there's just too much. There's too much to ignore. Okay, so let's read this. So, accused by his ex-wife committing acts with children and being addicted to prostitutes. The first wife of Mica Miller's pastor husband accused him of committing sex acts with children under 16 and having an addiction to prostitutes and explosive divorce papers unearthed by Daily Mail. The first wife of Mica Miller's pastor husband accused him of committing sex acts with children under 16 and having, I just read that one, sorry. John Paul Miller also started an affair with Mica, who at the time was the couple's babysitter and the wife of his best friend, Jeremy Diaz. So this is supposedly John Paul's best friend. His ex, Allison, said in an affidavit from 2017, referring to two events 2 years earlier, our marriage and my husband's career were less than stable at the time. Because at the time my husband's affair was discovered, he had previously admitted both me and our congregation. So he admitted to both her and the congregation that he had an addiction to prostitution, Allison wrote in the affidavit, to support her bid for alimony. He also confessed to me and other staff members of the church that he had sexual encounters with young females from the church who were under the age of 16. Gotta be kidding. When the defendant's affair was discovered, the church's leaders demanded that the defendant seek counseling for sexual addiction, Allison added. But here's the thing. Did she tell the church about these underage girls? Because that's illegal. I know they knew about him cheating, but did they know about this detail? Because if they did and they kept that and they didn't turn him in, that's a serious crime. He should have been just fired and they should have freaking turned him in. At the most, they should have fired him for being with underage girls. Anyway, but yeah, so they had him seek counseling for his sexual addiction. Okay. When he refused, the majority of our church left the congregation. Daily Mail's discovery of the divorce papers comes 2 weeks after Mica 30 shot herself dead in Lumber River State Park in North Carolina. She had bought the gun she used just hours earlier and had driven across the state border from her home in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Photographs obtained by Daily Mail also reveal that Miller had officiated at Miller had even officiated at Jeremy and Mica's 2012 wedding. And sources say his fling with 14 years younger Mica started even before she married Diaz. We're all wondering that because we're like, wait, she married. Everybody was saying he groomed her when she was 14. Where does that come into play? Well, it's saying it started before she even married him. Public records show that Miller married his first wife in 2000, and the pair started Solid Rock Ministries together shortly afterwards. She filed for a divorce 2015 with papers stating that Miller moved out of the family home on January 29th of that year, the very same day that Mica left her marital home. In an affidavit dated June 2017, Miller's first wife said, our separation was a result of my discovering that the defendant was having an affair with the praise and worship leader in our church, who was also the weekly babysitter of our 4 children and the wife of his best friend. His marital misconduct not only destroyed my marriage, but also caused me to lose my church, family, and income, along with severely damaging the relationship between the defendant and our children. The documents added that Miller allegedly confessed to his then wife and members of the church that he had sexual encounters with young females from the church who were under the age of 16. But look, right here, it says he confessed to his then wife and members of the church, and nobody reported him? Allison's affidavit went on to say, I agreed to work with the defendant to reach an agreement on resolving the issues of our marriage and not seek an adultery divorce as an attempt to prevent him from further damage in his career as a church pastor. Sources close to Mica's ex-husband, Jeremy, who filed on the grounds that the marriage was forever broken, told DailyMail.com that Miller was a methodical in his betrayal of his wife and best friend. The affair allegedly came to light after Miller and Mica were caught in a sexual act in 2015. He had a way of taking over someone else's mind, one source said. Mica and Jeremy would spend a lot of time at Miller's house with Allie and JP, rehearsing the music for the church. It seemed kind of suspicious that they would always be hanging out, always together. He always had them around. It was like JP did it underhandedly to subliminally get into her mind. I went backwards. Okay. Once everyone found out he lied to our faces, we confronted him, and he sat there and denied it to our faces that he was just friends with Mica, and that was it, the source added. The majority of the church left the congregation after that, and we were shocked when we saw him with Mica, and then they got engaged. They got married, and it destroyed a lot of people's lives. He had her wrapped around his little finger. She would jump even when she was married to Jeremy. He did it in such a sneaky way, and she was just a sweet person. He's a very good talker and good at getting people to do things for him. But I saw red flags. Jeremy and Mica had just bought a house, and it tore the whole thing apart. At first, Jeremy carried on going to church because he just loves God and wanted to support the cause. But eventually, he did stop going. With Allie, it was like she disappeared. They were both so devastated. He was very, very controlling and vicious. Documents also show a bitter battle between Miller and his first wife over alimony payments and child support following their split. The couple initially signed a final divorce agreement, which ruled that Miller would pay $1,200 in child support and $1,100 in alimony. Miller assured his ex-wife that she and the children would have the means to live in the marital home until the youngest of their 4 children turned 18. He only made one payment before saying he could no longer afford the court-ordered amount. Bizarrely, he claimed that he had fallen out of the tree and broken his leg while trying for reconciliation with Allison. He ended up appearing in court in a wheelchair. Oh my God, this guy and him playing victim all the time. I can't. The couple made an agreement to temporarily drop the child support payments to $900 a month, with Miller arguing he should not even have to pay alimony because of an error on the divorce paperwork. After a 5-month legal battle launched in November 2016, Miller eventually paid $3,300 in alimony in 2017. However, his ex-wife accused him of manipulating his income from the church, claiming, "It is hard to understand how he's suddenly making less now when every aspect of the ministry has improved." Allison also accused him of buying a boat, motorcycle, and golf cart, adding, "I do not understand how he can have these things, but not afford to be able to pay alimony." She said that she had to borrow $15,000 from her father because Miller had been failing to pay the agreed amounts. Miller responded in the filing saying that he gave her everything in the hope that they would reconcile, claiming he had no money and no place to stay. He added that his ex-wife allegedly screamed and cussed in front of his parishioners and harassed him when dropping off the children. Miller claimed her boyfriend threatened him several times. He rebutted claims that he was earning more than ever in 2017, saying the stress of the finances is unbearable, claiming to have borrowed $20,000 from friends. The matter was ultimately resolved when Miller agreed to pay alimony and child support to his ex-wife. When approached by Daily Mail, Miller's ex-wife declined to comment, saying she was hunkered down and staying quiet for the protection of her children. Mica's ex-husband did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Mica's death has been ruled unaliving by officials, but those close to her are struggling to believe that she would take her own life, with her family setting up a Justice for Mica campaign. In the days after her death, Miller's friends and family held a rally outside the church where her husband previously worked. He was relieved of his duties on Sunday. Mica's death came just 48 hours after her husband, from whom she had been separated for a month, was served with divorce papers. A source told Daily Mail Miller needs to have some accountability. Just in fact that he pushed her over the edge, he is responsible for her death. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing and a false prophet. If she took her own life, he pushed her to it. His hands are all over this. He's mentally and emotionally responsible for taking her life. Where are we at? Court records hint at the tumult within the marriage, with Mica's first filing for divorce back in October 2023 before withdrawing the filing February 12th. Later that same month, Miller filed against his wife for separate support and maintenance in a motion withdrawn March 11th. But on April 15th, just 12 days before she was found dead, Mica filed once more and, according to friends, also sought a no contact order against her husband. Police released images and audio of Miller in the lead up to her death amid conjecture about circumstances. The speculation was partly fueled by a bizarre video of Miller's husband casually informing his congregants of her death at the end of the service. He said her passing was self-induced. However, evidence released by Robeson County as a part of their investigation conclusively shows Miller plotting to end her life. Weeks before her death, she had a shared video speaking about abuse within a marriage. As claims emerged, she was being harassed and was afraid for her life. She said, "Today, my heart's a little heavy. I've had lots of women that have reached out to me about situations of abuse. And I just want to tell you what a lot of people have told me lately, because I think I forgot. But you are the bride of Christ before anybody else, male or female. It doesn't matter what gender you are. Abuse is abuse." Okay, so that's that article. Pretty, what do you guys think of that? Yeah, it's crazy. So that's, ex-wife. I heard that we are going to watch some videos where the rumor, or supposedly the ex-wife is talking to Mica's family. So like, yeah, I guess she's not on JP's side. Like, she doesn't go to that church anymore. So that was, yeah. Remember we were talking about that one theory that's not gonna be end up being true. Okay. So let's watch. I have a few videos. I'm trying to think which one to watch first. So let's do well, you guys saw this probably, right? I played this. I did a short of this. I'm trying to find the whole thing. This right here. Hold on, let me bring it up. I'll just play because it's really short. So I'll just play the couple short ones real quick, and then we'll right here.
Happen. Tell me what's happened.
It's just like a part of the. Hold on. I'm gonna put it silent. So that's her supposedly in the gas station. I don't know what you guys feel about that. It does kind of look like she's looking up at the camera. I want to see the freaking surveillance from the dicks, because real quick, hold on. I'm going to show you something real quick. Let's share this. So the receipt right here, I was looking at this today. Yeah, 0. Less trade-in, 0. That means she did not pawn her necklace. There's no account of her pawning her necklace. There's her receipt right there. It would be on the receipt. It even has a spot for a trade-in. 0. Total $524. There was nothing that went towards trade-ins. So that whole thing about her pawning her necklace, I mean, why wouldn't there be a account of it? So I don't think that's true. So I don't know why her necklace just freaking disappeared all of a sudden. We'll go through this document in a little bit later. We'll go through it more in depth, but I just wanted to show you that real quick. And then I want to play you one more video that I already uploaded, but I just want to play it. It's really short. It just came out. It's supposedly she's trying to get her purse and he has it. Did you guys see it? I uploaded it right before, but let me just play it real quick. Try to get the shorter ones played just because it'll help me check things off the list for me. Hold on, where is it at? Right here. This right here.
Stop. Calm down, Mica. Stop. Stop. I don't have your purse. Stop. You don't have my purse? Nope. Stop, Mica. Please. Stop, Mica. Stop. Stop. I don't have your purse.
That came out. All right. Let me remove those. So yeah, she's trying to, and look at, I mean, she looks so like, oh, I want to pause it right.
Please. Stop, Mica. Stop. Stop. I don't have your purse.
She's trying to get her freaking purse. He's just psycho. Allegedly. I mean, all right. So I'm going to play the News Nation first before I play the long one about him freaking out, just because it's shorter, and then we'll play the one that's came out yesterday. It's kind of long, and I mean it's not real extremely long, but it's pretty crazy. And who has the mental disorders? And I'm not even trying to like make fun of anybody with it, but you're talking all this crap about Mica. I think you are projecting here a little bit. All right, let me share that real quick. Here it is. All right, here we go. So here is just this. This is it lines up with, I guess, remember when she made the report, you know, of him sharing her Facebook, and they said, oh, well, since the nipple was covered, it doesn't qualify as, you know, whatever. What, I forget what term they used, but look, he even admits it right here. No sound, sorry. It's when I put these earphones in, it makes you reshare the sound. They gotta fix that. My AirPods, it's so annoying because I share the sound and then somehow it goes off because of my AirPods. And I have to wear these. It's the other earphones I cannot hear crap with. But let me play it again. I'm sorry, guys. We'll play it again. No biggie. No biggie. It was only a couple minutes. I'm glad I saw your text there because I was like trying to look for that other video I was getting ready to play. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I'm Stoops. Apologize.
Walk away.
I'll show you the pictures.
Do you want to go to jail?
They'll be on Facebook in a few hours.
Alrighty, you'll be in jail in a few hours. Walk away.
News Nation obtaining this exclusive video of a heated argument between a South Carolina woman and her estranged husband just weeks before her death.
Yeah, I'm going to rewind it one more time so you can see. So he's like, oh, they'll be on Facebook in an hour. What a freak. Oh.
Walk away.
I'll show you the pictures.
Do you want to go to jail?
They'll be on Facebook in a few hours.
Alrighty, you'll be in jail in a few hours. Walk away.
News Nation obtaining this exclusive video of a heated argument between a South Carolina woman and her estranged husband just weeks before her death. Investigators have ruled 30-year-old Mica Miller's death a suicide. But her family and friends tell News Nation there's much more to what actually happened, especially since Miller had just recently filed for divorce. News Nation's Rich McHugh has looked into this story since the very beginning, joining us live with the latest developments. Rich, what can you tell us?
Hi, Alex. So first, we need some context so but our audience can better understand that moment and what they were seeing. We FOIA'd a number of documents from the police. We got back a whole treasure trove from the Myrtle Beach Police Department, about 14 different police reports filed in the past 2 years, many of them within the past 3 months. There's two in question that were filed on March 11th of this year, so just about 2 months ago. I want to read from them directly. They say, police officers respond to East Coast Honda. That's what we see in the video. She's at East Coast Honda in Myrtle Beach in reference to harassment, that Mica was getting her tire fixed after it was slashed, that she told the officer of the tracking device on her car, that the suspect showed up, quote, she told him to go away, but she does not want to talk. And then when she pulled out her phone to record, he sped off. The victim then leaves and goes to East Coast Honda. Again, this is what we're about to see. And the suspect showed up again. That appears to be this moment at East Coast Honda. Let's roll that tape.
Away.
I'll show you the pictures.
Do you want to go to jail?
They'll be on Facebook in a few hours.
Alrighty, you'll be in jail in a few hours. Walk away.
Sure.
Now, this video, for people that have been watching this is a window into the nightmare that she had been living. She had told the police officer in that police report that day that she was afraid for her life. And we're seeing why. She's telling him to walk away. He's saying he's threatening to post pictures on Facebook. He's presumably tracked her to that location. We're going to be asking the police for answers on if they have done any follow-up to these allegations that she has made.
Yeah, really alarming stuff, and great work getting all those.
Okay, so let's go to the breakdown, which I have not been able to figure out what time period, because it doesn't say exactly when this was, the one I'm going to play next. Let me see. So it's the original is Thai. Let me share my screen. Hold on. Okay, so here. Why does that keep popping up? Okay. So the original, this is the guy that shared this, the video we're going to be watching. So this is the post, that's what he wrote about it, and then we'll watch it. So he says, I believe the saying goes, getting a taste of your own medicine. And I mean that quite literally. You have used and abused for way too long, only to get up on that pulpit and consistently discredit your victims by airing out intentional, degrading, inappropriate personal information. Doing that allows you to control the narrative. Now we have the death of your wife that you claim only took her life because of mental illness. Fact is, nobody was ever mental until they met you. You are the common denominator in all of this. This video is only proof that you yourself have issues, and you know that the medication can do to, you know what the medication can do to someone. What medication can do to someone, sorry. Imagine being in a vulnerable state like this and being met with control, manipulation, and shame. What's the long-term effect on that? Now add abuse on top of that. All forms that may apply. Who can handle that? Yet you are met with a soft tone in a water bottle that you didn't deserve. JP, I could have done this anonymously, but I want you to see it's coming from me so you don't go after anyone else. You know I've got receipts, and you know I'm not scared. I've never met anyone like you, but what I have learned and been taught is people like you repeat their behavior, and every so often they slip up and show who they really are. Sometimes they even type it in an email. I think it's abundantly clear that you haven't been held accountable for any of your actions over the years, and I never hit the recycling bin. He's saying he has all the stuff, you know. Yeah. So Solid Rock, let me introduce you to your pastor. You don't see this version on Sundays. This guy you allow to give you and your family counsel, this is the guy you give permission to speak into your life. The guy you share personal vulnerable information with that he will use against you when and if you question him. It's time to really take a step back and evaluate what's going on. JP, you are a complete shit stain to all of the other pastors that truly desire to lead people to the Lord. You are a liability to the Christian faith and to anyone that you set your eyes on. The reason why most people didn't speak up the first time is because they know your reaction is ruthless. You have a little bit of local power with enough financial resources to hurt people legally, and they fear putting their family at risk. And the few others that don't speak up believe it's not the Christian thing to do. Well, neither is doing nothing. I also believe Jesus flipped over some tablets. So here we go. You've already had the chance the first time around for a time of healing, counsel, and guidance pursuant to our governing instrument. Second time, your reverend had to give that same PR speech to a church body, yet you chose to smack every former member in the face that would have supported you if you got the help you need. So please don't mistake this video as a broken man who misses his family. This is a twisted individual using one of his many tactics to manipulate his way back into control. But his target didn't let that happen. She kept her foot down and changed gears and got nasty. Over the years, his ways to manipulate have only gotten more effective with precision. To the ones who are the reason I'm involved, I won't name. I hope you understand why I had to do this. Enough is enough. So here's the video, guys. I'll rewind it and make it.
JP. You all right, man? You okay? Huh? You okay? What's the matter? Huh? What's the matter?
You switched my medication. Makes me go crazy.
Is somebody helping you?
I think Mark's coming to get me.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was going to see Jesus.
Okay. But you got Mark coming?
Hard to understand. It took me a couple times to understand some of it, but at the beginning he says they switched his medication. So that's what he's claiming. That's why he's acting that way, because they switched his medication. And then it's like he thought he was going to see Jesus. So it's like, is he hallucinating? I don't know. But that's what supposedly is going on. They switched his medication.
Somebody called him, I think.
Okay.
I feel like he intubated me. I can't
So-
want to see Jesus. Because it's biting me everywhere.
Is your medication something they gave you?
Yes, I'm a drug.
Yeah.
There's some new doses or something.
You want me to make sure Mark's coming?
Yeah, all I do is find out when the phone's on me. I don't know phone.
But somebody's called him, right?
Yeah, the lady across the street called.
Okay. All right. Hey, JP.
Good.
I think Mark is coming.
Mm-hmm.
I had him try to get in touch with me again to make sure. Is that okay?
You know what the ants?
Huh?
What the ants fight me? There's ants all over me.
Feels like there's ants on you? There's no ants on you, though. It's just, maybe that's how you feel, but there's none on you. There's none on the grass. What kind of medicine do they have you on? All right, well, somebody's going to come, okay? Do I need to call 911? Do I need to call the medics? Yeah, we got somebody coming. You want some water or anything? You want some water? Yeah, he said okay if you got a little bottle of water. I don't know. I think they changed his medication or something, he said. And he said like ants was crawling on him and stuff. So I got somebody coming. Okay. Yeah. I live across the street. Back over here. Okay. So. Well, let me know if I can do anything. Okay, I think he's. Here's some water, JP. You want some water? Okay, you want to try to sit up? You want to try to sit up, or you want to put it to your mouth, or what?
I'll be out in a few minutes if you need anything.
Okay. Is that enough? You want more? My kids don't make any noises in the morning when I wake up. If Mark can't make it quick, you want me to get your mom over here? I don't want my mom anywhere in their church. They're crazy. I always tell everybody to get on medication, and this is what it does. They're crazy. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I can't do nothing. I feel like I answered my eyes. Can open up my eyes.
Okay. Ooh, echoing. I need to remove that because it's echoing. But yeah, I don't even know what to think of that. Like, I know was reading a lot of comments that a lot of people think he's faking it. I think so too. It doesn't seem like a very normal reaction. Like, it does seem like he's putting it on. I mean, I don't want to say for sure because maybe he was, but regardless, he's claiming it's Mica that needs the help, right? I think there's proof right now that right here that you definitely needed some help. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know anything. I can't say I don't know Mica personally, but from what people were saying, you know, she wasn't the way he was portraying her. Yeah, she's probably depressed because living with this guy, but he seems like, from everything we're learning, he's the crazy one. Are you kidding me? Putting it on her, and you're freaking acting like I don't even know what that is. What the heck is that? What are you acting like a baby, first of all? Okay. I think it's for attention. It seems like it's like for attention, which is kind of weird. I mean, you want attention that way? Like that is not looking good for you, buddy. But no, I think this was before. I don't think this was after Mica's death. I think it was before. I wish he would have put a date. Hold on. Let me see if like any comments are saying a date. Let's see here. Is there comments? When was this? Let's see. Somebody says, so this person says 2015 and 2016 from what I've gathered in the comments. So if that's the case, that's before the divorce was, what they say the papers was 2017. 2015 is when he had the affair. So that kind of makes sense. At the time he was going through the affair, about to lose his marriage, that, and her like outing him, like all the stuff, you know, that came out in the divorce papers and stuff, and him. So that actually, dude, that goes along with him faking it, because what he's about to be he's about to look bad. He cheated on his freaking wife. So what does he do? What do people like that do? They play the victim. So maybe, oh, let me act like, oh my God, I'm going through so much, I'm crazy. So then it just like kind of disregards everything that I just did. You know what I'm saying? Well, he thinks like they'll just ignore that because they'll feel sorry for me. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. What do you guys think? Just wanted him, he had to be the victim. He had to take the attention off of what he did and make it about something else. Yeah, it was around the time I believe he was going through his divorce with his ex-wife. Yep. I bet you that's right. The guy who posted said it was from 2015. Oh, I missed that. He said that? 2015, 2016. I didn't, hold on. I just read that. Why didn't I get the date from there? Hold on. Unless if he's just saying he said it in the comments or something, because I don't see it in the actual post. But yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that makes perfectly sense. Yeah, I think it's fake then. I think it's a fake. It's totally fake. He's trying to take the attention off of him being a crappy human. Wow. Yep, that's what it is. Wow. Dang it. It's still a sick person. It's still a sick person in the head to do that crap. All right. Okay, what do I want to play next? Man, my nose is itching, you guys. This is just so crazy. Oh. So Tracy sent me this thing. Crazy, guys. There's something in the computer monitors that could give you like itchy nose and stuff. I think that's what it is. The computer monitors, maybe. All right, so I have let me play a few more videos. So the next one, let me see which one this is. No, I'm going to wait to do that one. Memorial, I'm going to wait for that one. I'll play a couple of news clips here where hold on one second, guys. Yeah, this one has one of her friends that talks, which she says something interesting. So she talks about how she was going to the new church. This is the friend that she's on a couple of these news clips. She's on this next news clip I'm going to play. She's a friend from the new church that Mica was going to. And she said that Mica was like, you know, ready to, like, she was excited for being in the new church. She wanted to just like jump right in and, you know, do the mission stuff and just like, you know, to start fresh. And then she had texted, this was like, I think the end of March. She gives the dates. She texted everybody. I think it was like a group chat or something. She texted everybody. She says, like, basically, good news. John, JP, I forget what she called him, John or my old husband or whatever she said, is going to take me back. He's letting me come home or whatever. So I'll play this here, though.
We're learning that Mica tried several times over the years to leave her husband, John Paul, but for one reason or another was always drawn back. Just last year, she fled to Kansas, where her family lives, and that's where my next guest met her. Shaylin French met Mica at a women's church group. Great to have you here. You bonded with Mica when she came to Kansas to be with her family and get away from her husband. What did she tell you about him?
She told our group that the things that I recognized were she told us how much older he was than she was. She mentioned how his kids were close to her age. And then because of this shared experience that we had, I also had an abuser from when I lived in North Carolina. And that was when we instantly connected. And I think she just knew I needed help. So she's stuck by me and listened to me. She mentioned that her husband would make her watch unholy acts.
Her husband would what?
Make her watch unholy acts. She didn't go deeper into it. When she talked about the abuse to us or claiming that her husband wasn't kind to her, we got watered down versions. And it was almost like she was questioning if she was being abused at all. You could tell she was still halfway in denial of everything that was happening.
Was it clear to you that you thought
yes. Yes. In fact, she mentioned how he talked about mental health and she was struggling with mental health. But when she was in Kansas with us, she was so excited to be seeing a therapist, taking care of her own mental health. She was excited to get on the right medications. She was sane. She was happy. She was willing to start a new life. She was wanting to jump in like ahead at everything, mission trips, the worship team, which is where we met and we bonded. She was willing to live.
Did she give you any other details about what her husband would do or say to her that you thought was abusive besides watching? I'm guessing you mean pornography of some kind. What else would she tell you that happened?
She was very worried that he would follow her.
And that he had in the past?
Right. Very, very worried that she was going to get followed. And so she was staying with her sister, and I would rather not reveal that town for her safety, but about an hour away. Yes. She was in a nearby town staying, and she hung out more with where I am from because she wanted to make sure that she was safe and with people and with the community just in case she was found.
And was she excited to start a new chapter in life? Was she relieved and happy to be away from her husband? I'm trying to get a sense of what her mental state was.
Yeah. When she first came, she described it as a trial separation. And then later on, she was saying, I'm trying to separate from my husband. She was excited. She was ready. She was planning trips with us. We have a lot of domestic violence and sexual assault survivors in our it wasn't a women's group. It's just a mixed group of individuals for like a small group Bible study. We were all ready and planning to go on outings with her for all of our healing. And then all of a sudden, she was gone.
Right. After just a few months, Mica left Kansas very suddenly to return to John Paul. She sent you this text message, which read in part, "It is a miracle. My husband has asked me to come home and be reconciled. I'm leaving today." To which you responded in part, "That's wonderful news. I hope you two are able to work things out," adding, "I'm praying your husband understands your worth and sees your value as a woman." Were you surprised?
Yes. I was very surprised. All of us were, all 5 of us females that were in this group and close to her got the same message. So we looked around at each other and unfortunately kind of joked, blink twice if you need help. In the end, she needed help. After the story broke, we had no idea just how bad it was. Otherwise, we would have fought to keep her here.
How did you hear that she had died by suicide?
TikTok.
You heard on TikTok?
I found out through TikTok and had to inform the rest of my friends. I think he had her, because we never heard from her again. I think he had her so far removed from all of us that we never heard from her again. And in fact, one of the males who was also in contact with her, his text message that he got said, "Don't ever contact this number again."
What was your reaction, Shaylin, when you heard?
Tears, upset. This was someone who had gone through very similar situation that I had gone through. This is the person that even 7 years later, after my incident, was validating me, was listening to me. She was
I missed that part. Did she say who said don't contact me? I want to rewind that. I missed that part. Sorry, guys. Did he say don't contact my wife? Is that what she said? Hold on. Sorry.
His text message that he got said, "Don't ever contact this number again."
What was your reaction, Shaylin, when you heard?
Wait, who got? Why am I not following this? Let me hold on. Sorry. I got to know exactly what that was about.
So in contact with her. His text message that he got mailed us that we never heard from her again. And in fact, one of the males who was also in contact with her, his text message that he got said, "Don't ever contact this number again."
What was your reaction, Shaylin, when you heard?
Tears, upset. This was someone who had gone through very similar situation that I had gone through. This is the person that even 7 years later, after my incident, was validating me, listening to me. She was a godsend in my life, and I was not well. That's the best way to put it. I was not okay, and I knew after everything I heard about JP, he had to have some involvement. I didn't know how. He may have not pulled that trigger, but he definitely drove her there. And hell would be a nice place for him to go. In fact, purgatory would be a better place for him to go, so he can think and mentally abuse himself just like he did Mica and his other victims.
Shaylin French, you obviously loved her. This must be hard news to be still dealing with just a few weeks after this. She died. Thank you for joining us tonight and giving tribute to your friend.
Okay, so let me take that down real quick. Yeah, so it's crazy. So it just makes me wonder, because she was going to go back to him, it sounds like the end of March, I think they said, right? She's like, oh, he reconciled. We're going to, he's letting me back. So she's going to go back to him. There's another video where she's on, another clip I have where that same friend's on. We'll get to it as we're watching this stuff. But yeah, that sucks, man. All right. I have a few TikToks I wanted to share. Other people's TikToks, but let me get them out here. Okay, so that one I already played. Oh, this is just like a quick clip of like the wedding. It's just so quick, but I don't know where somebody got it here. As soon as it loads up here. Don't tell me my internet. Okay, there we go. It's Mica and her first husband. You can see. So, and then that's his first wife. It's crazy. It's his best friend. He married him. And it's like, you gotta be kidding me. Gotta be freaking kidding me. And then we have... All right, we'll play another video. We'll play this one.
A gunshot. Those are some of the details being released in the death of a Myrtle Beach pastor's wife. Officials say a man approached them and said he heard crying and a gunshot while he was fishing at the state park in nearby North Carolina, where they say Mica Miller took her own life. Ryan Bass joins us live. And Ryan, so much speculation about this case and new developments. How much weight are police putting on what this man says he heard?
Well, they're definitely taking his account into consideration here, Nick. And look, there's so much national curiosity around Mica Miller's death, but police say there's no conspiracy theory here. She took her own life. And now that man, as you mentioned, is giving us new details about a gunshot that he heard in that same park around the time of Mica Miller's death. Still, there's questions that remain about her relationship with her husband, John Paul Miller, a local pastor at a church that both were involved in. Now, the Robeson County medical examiner did confirm that Miller died by a self-inflicted gunshot wound on April 27th. Her body was found in the water at Lumber River State Park, about 70 miles north of Myrtle Beach. A man who claimed to have found Mica's fanny pack with her ID inside, but didn't want his face shown, spoke exclusively with our local affiliate WBTW, saying he heard crying, a gunshot, and then silence.
Maybe 5 minutes after getting into the slough, I heard a cry, a faint cry. Heard it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and the crying stopped. He was out. If it would have been a person out there crying in the opening where I could see him, I'd have checked on him all day long.
And in new police reports obtained by that News Nation affiliate, Mica told police earlier this year that John Paul had been grooming her for years since she started working for him at the church. They've known each other, she said, since she was 10 years old. Other findings include John Paul having power of attorney over Mica's health care, allegedly transferring the deed of their home to one of his sons and moving Mica's belongings from their home while she experienced a mental health crisis. Now, police released a timeline of the day that Mica died, from the moment she left her house at just after 11:30 in the morning to when she bought the gun police found at the scene at 12:13 in the afternoon, and then less than 3 hours later when she called 911 from that state park, threatening to take her own life. Now, the sheriff's office said that Pastor Miller was not in North Carolina the night before or the day of Mica's death. He was in Charleston at an athletic event, confirmed by surveillance video. He then broke the news to his congregation on the 28th, claiming Mica was struggling with mental illness and took her own life. But friends and family of Mica's say she could not have killed herself. Mica had filed for a divorce from John Paul Miller multiple times, according to reports, including days before her death. She hinted on social media to being in an abusive relationship. There's also recent police reports Mica filed in March saying she was fearful for her life, claiming that someone slashed her tires and a GPS tracking device was put on her car. Now, while many conspiracy theorists have tried to link John Paul Miller to Mica's death, police say the facts show she died by suicide based on surveillance footage, interviews, physical evidence, and of course, the medical examiner's report. Now, Pastor Miller has since been released from his senior pastor duties at Solid Rock Church and told our Rich McHugh that he never hurt Mica in a text message. But again, so many close friends and relatives here, Nick, are saying that Mica taking her own life just isn't possible.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to join in.
Yeah, see, I want to get that whole look, the ring. They have the video. Look right here. It's a video. I want to get this video, but you could see that
evidence and of course the medical
video
report. Now,
she's got her necklace on. She's got her necklace on there. I forgot to check there when we were checking for necklaces. Look, she's got it on. How the heck did John Paul get it in that interview? How the heck did he get it? I don't understand.
Interviews, physical evidence, and of course the medical examiner's report. Now, Pastor Miller has,
because supposedly he didn't get the body till the 30th, and that interview was before the 30th, I guess. Also interesting. Hold on. Interesting. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So, man, I just lost my thought. Shoot. I don't know. I forget. And oh my God, I feel like it was important. I've been wanting to say that. Wait, so we're talking about about her being cremated. So supposedly the family, I guess, has said that John Paul wouldn't let them see her unless if they agreed to have her cremated. And I guess she's cremated already. So now you can't even have a second autopsy, which makes no sense. If he's so innocent, why would he care so much about her getting her cremated right away? I cannot believe that law enforcement let that happen. That is so messed up because now they can't even check to see. I guess there was no like autopsy as far as they didn't do like a toxicology, right? I heard that stuff wasn't done. Like, what if she had something in her system that he gave her? What if there's other details that could have shown, and now it's too late because she's cremated? It's just messed up. That makes me so mad that they let that happen so early. Like, why so early? Especially if he wanted it. John Paul wanted it so bad. That should be like, wait, why does he care so bad? It just makes me, ugh. All right, so let's move on to the next thing. Yeah, I think that's so messed up. All right, so next let's do heard crying. No, we did that already. We're going to do the Nancy Grace, but I'm going to do that a little bit later because it's longer, but I want to watch that with you. I love her. Okay, so it's good too. This is a TikTok. Somebody sent it to me in an email, one of my viewers, but it talks about his ex-wife talking to like Mica's family.
John Paul's former ex-wife, Allison, just came out and let the public know that she went to Mica Miller's family and told them that she got out just in time, but similar behaviors she experienced just like Mica was going through. His ex-wife is now connected with Mica's family. Remember, JP and Allison were married and had children, and then JP met Mica, had an affair with Mica, whom was also married at the time, and Allison divorces JP. Mica leaves her current husband. JP and Mica marry. Pastor Red Flag's ex-wife, mother to his children, is now in communication with Mica Miller's family.
I was like, where's that music coming from? She must have it playing. Okay, so yeah, which that's kind of interesting that she's talking to the family. All right, now I'm just checking things off the list as I'm going down. Let's see, what else did I want to share? First divorce, we did that. Oh, here's that one thing about that voice replication. So somebody did one of Mica's voice and showed how easy it is to actually do a full voice replication, which I thought was kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know if I believe that it was done with this. I do believe there's some fishy stuff, but I don't know. I mean, possibly, but this is what this person did. It says, using AI, I conducted an experiment to show the world how easy it was to replicate Mica's voice.
I am conducting an experiment to show you how easy it is to replicate my voice.
And that's just, look, let's do it again.
I am conducting an experiment to show you how easy it is to replicate my voice.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. And let me show you that receipt, Scrap Al, because I was thinking that too about the pawn, but let me show you. There's no reason why this should not be on this. If she pawned the necklace, why wouldn't it be on this trade-in right here? If she pawned it to buy the gun, here's her two receipts. She's got $25 at that grocery, and then she has Dick's Pawn Shop. It's for the gun. Why would they do it a separate account? If she did it to go towards the gun, it would be listed on here, and it's not. It's not. So that makes me think she didn't pawn it, because why the heck wouldn't it be on there? It would be on there, and she would have got credit for it, right? So yeah. That's what I thought. I thought that was an explanation, because the weird thing is it makes no sense that it's on there and then like, hold on. Let's look at all this shop. Let's look at all these here. Hold on. So we have 254. The 911 call was made. Asked if she could be located and threatened to unalive herself. 303, the deputies were dispatched. Okay, so here's the location. All right, let's see. Hold on. I just want to see something. Telecommunication contact a request updated location ping. So they arrived. Superintendent 3:05 they contacted. Then they requested phone ping at 3:20. And then at 3:31 they arrive at the park, begin to search. 3:33 the aviation air drone dispatched to Lumber River State Park. 3:42 they contacted Verizon to request updated location ping. And 3:50 they arrived at Lumber River State Park. The detectives with air SU or the drone and stuff, right? Wait, hold on. They located, okay, so at 3:42, they located the black Honda Civic in the parking lot of Lumber with the registration, blah, blah, blah. Okay. They looked inside the car and observed a black Sig Sauer gun case in the passenger seat and a box of ammunition in the center console of the vehicle. This information was relayed to deputies and park rangers actively searching the park. 3:45, detectives deployed Air 3S UAV to conduct aerial search of the area. And then while they were conducting the aerial search, detectives were approached by an individual who stated he had found a bag while fishing with an ID inside belonging to Mica. Detectives took possession of the bag. The individual stated he heard crying while he was fishing, then a gunshot. The individual stated he went further into the slough where he located the bag about 2 foot from the water's edge. At 4:23, an individual contacted Robeson County 911 and advised he had located a body in the water. The individual had been fishing in his kayak when he located the body in the river. Deputies and state park rangers went to the individual's location and confirmed the information was given. The area was then secured for investigation. 5:30, detectives for Robeson County arrived in the incident location. 5:54, detectives along the Robeson County Sheriff's Office technician arrived at the incident. Medical examiner was contacted. CSI technician photographed the area of investigation to include the vehicle belonging to Mica. Items of evidence were collected from the incident location and from the vehicle of Mica Miller. Here's the 7:11 p.m. A Sig Sauer 9mm firearm is located in the water. The sale receipt, so located inside Mica Miller's vehicle, is a sale receipt from Dick's Pawn Shop. And then the one from the grocery. They investigated the movements and shown or substantiated the security camera footage. Okay, so here's that. This is at 10:13. This is at 11. Which is too hard to see if she has a necklace there. This is at 11:38. This is when she's leaving. 10 minutes to get from Dick's to the to Dick's to probably the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to Dick's Pawn Shop, sorry. So 10 minutes to get there from her house. Mica Miller's cell phone search history, so we already looked at that, which I forgot to point this out, but I'm having a little bit of doubt. Now, remember that other screenshot I had where it had a time of like 2:40? So I have a question for you. Obviously, they didn't find her stuff till after 3. You know what I'm saying? At 2:40, that was before she even called, right? What time did she call? What time was the phone call? 2:54. Okay. So that the phone time said 2:40, but I just reasoned that in my head that it was maybe they just took it the next day at 2:40 p.m. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Let me show you here. I don't know, unless if there is something suspicious about that. But the reason I never did bring it up, because I'm like, well, I might sound like an idiot, because how do we know when they took a picture? They could have just took the picture the next day or something. But that's why when we were just reading the stuff, how they collected the evidence and they took pictures right here. I want to show you, but they don't say here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. They don't say, they said photograph the area of investigation to include the vehicle belonging to Mica. Items of evidence were collected from the incident. Okay. So I don't know, but let me show you what I'm talking about, because it makes no sense. if they did indeed take I don't know. I can't make sense out of that, because this right here is what I'm talking about. 2:40. I guess that could be AM or PM, right? Does it? This has. So that would have been before she even made the call. You would think that they took the pictures right when they got there and they collected everything. You think they would take all the photographs then, but I mean, maybe not. Maybe they got back to the thing, they collected everything. Maybe it was later in the station or whatever, and they did it like the next day, possibly. What do you guys think? It has to be, or there's something really, really fishy going on. But yeah, so I don't know. That could just be they just took it at a different time. But I did want to point that out. Hold on, we got to finish going through this. Then I have a couple more videos I want to play, but I just wanted to go through this again. So, like I said, we have one off, not wearing the necklace, wearing the necklace. Can't tell right here. Oops, you can't tell if she's wearing it here. Okay, but so 54 minutes to the pawn shop to the grocery and grill. Okay. This is some of her searches. It says national park near me, Google, no, but her cell phone search history. And there's some pictures. The Lumber State Park came up. Picture of her car in the parking lot. Picture of the gun. And of course, which is kind of interesting, she has a little sandwich here. Looks like a toasted sandwich. So, I mean, what? She made that for, oh, here is her shirt. Okay. There's her shirt. Remember, I was so confused because I was like, dude, did she take off her shirt before she went into Dick's? So does this look like it could be this, right? That black shirt that I was trying to figure out that had writing, and then when she goes into Dick's, it didn't, but on the Ring camera. So I guess she did take it off. Maybe it got hot out or something. All right, so I just wanted to show you that, and then play a couple more videos. And then there's these text messages that I want to read. They're a little bit confusing because it doesn't say, like, you got to figure out like who's right and which side, but it looks like they're from him, between him and her, it looks like. So those are coming up, but I want to play a video in between real quick. Let's play this one. Okay. Here's another one. It's that guy that found her stuff, but it's a different clip from a different news station.
The Robeson County Sheriff's Office ruled Mica Miller's death a suicide. In a News 13 exclusive, Tamika Jackson went to Lumber River State Park, where she spoke with a man who witnessed and heard her final moments.
This is the exact place Johnny Jacobs says he placed the personal items of Mica Miller when he found them, right down this river on a small bank. Jacobs says this is his version of what he saw and heard on that day.
Yes. No, well, I want to say that I pointed that out last live about the airplane mode is on, Jeanette. I guess I should point it out again, but I went over that last live. Wow, I think that's weird because she purposely called and said, hey, I'm calling because I want my family to be able to find my body when I do this. So why would she put the airplane mode on? But then there is a possibility that cops do that. They'll put it on airplane mode. So there's a possibility that they put it on there. I don't know why they would touch the phone before taking pictures. You would think that they would just take the pictures, but sometimes they don't do stuff that we think that they should do. But yeah, it is weird. If she put it on, it makes no sense because why would she want to put that on? She wants them to be able to find her. That's why she called 911. So yeah, definitely good catch.
He says, many people have since attacked him on social media, And he says, in talking to News 13, this is his way of setting the record straight.
Had her license, her bank card. She had her keys in the bag. She had a little small Bible, all of her credit cards, her bank cards, and a few receipts of some things.
Johnny Jacobs says he retrieved the items from her black fanny pack here at the Lumber River State Park, the park where authorities say she took her own life. On the same day officials announced the details of her death, the family of Mica Miller, accompanied by a park ranger, ventured into the restricted area where Mica was tragically found, now seared into their memories in a silent tribute. Johnny Jacobs says he remembers hearing cries around that same area, and after hearing a single gunshot, the cries stopped.
Went in there with my little boat, and maybe 5 minutes after getting into the slough, I heard a cry, a faint cry. Heard it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and the crying stopped.
Jacob says he was unable to see Miller at the time, but if she had been visible, he would have tried to help.
He was out, if it would have been a person out there crying in the opening where I could see him, I'd have checked on him all day long. But yes, I mean, I just wished I could have went in there and checked on him.
And as millions across the country continue to mourn this tragic death, Jacob says that it's his faith that will get him through.
I'm just going to have faith in the Lord, to get me through this, because it's changed my life, actually.
Now, News 13 doesn't typically report on suicides, but we started looking into the death of Mica Miller due to the enormous amount of attention and discussion created in our community. If you or someone you know is struggling with a mental health crisis and thinking about suicide, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by dialing 988 or visiting 988lifeline.org. Reporting from Lumber River State Park, Mica Jackson.
Okay. All right. So now let's read some text that they were in a group, the Justice for Mica group that I found. Like I said, it's a little bit confusing of the order that they go in and sometimes who's who, but we'll read them and try to figure it all out here. And then we'll watch the Nancy Grace episode. Have you guys watched that? It's pretty good. I didn't get to watch it all. About this case. All right. So here is these text messages. So this says JP girlfriend. So I don't know, guys. I was thinking. So this says, the proof is in the abuse. Police reports were filed when JP threatened his life. We did a wellness check. That is when he got mad. Police stated when they arrived to perform a wellness check, he was loading Mica's belongings into his truck. He was not unalive. I hate that we can't say that word that much, But wait, so the proof is in the abuse. Police reports were filed when JP threatened his life. We did a wellness check. That is when he got mad. Police stated when he arrived. So he was loading Mica's belongings into his truck, saying no, he's not going to take his own life or whatever, I guess. So here's these texts. So I'm thinking that's her, right? My blood is on you. Or maybe not. And it says, and my kids will know I couldn't take it without you. All you had to do was come home to me, but you wouldn't do it. I'm done. Maybe that's JP. Maybe that's because that she's saying that's why the wellness check. I don't know, guys. I would try to figure this out. So maybe you guys could help me. And it says, all you had to do was love me enough to drive home to me, but you don't even care that much about me. I love you. I'm sorry. Tell Sierra I'm sorry. See, the reason I think that's Mica right here is because Sierra is her sister, right? But okay, you said this is JP, but who's this? Is down here JP too? Love me enough to drive home to me. I guess. Yeah, maybe it is both JP. Yeah, maybe because she's with Sierra. So he's like, tell Sierra I'm sorry. I guess. But he's basically saying, my blood is on you. Like, you're to blame when he does it, right? It says, be there at 12:55. Says, we don't want any drama here. So the blue, what I figured on these ones, the blue is Mica and her sister or whoever she's with. And the red is JP, is what I've could gather. So he says, be there at 12:55. She says, we don't want any drama here. That was the pretense of Mica coming for a visit, that it is just Mica alone. She says, 3 hours away. It says, Matthew will not let you inside. We aren't doing none of that tonight. And he says, that's fine. You can call the cops. She says, our dog can barely handle visitors as it is, let alone anything drama. He says, if I could turn back time, I would. We had the greatest marriage in the world up until that one wrong choice. It can continue down that path, or we can have an amazing marriage once again. The choice is yours. Love you. If you come home today, we can take off the rest of the year and go to counseling every day. Go to Iceland, do whatever in order to get well. I also desperately want a child with you. I'm scared. I'm just scared of this. This is the only reason I wouldn't. Oh, this is 5 years. Us, Mark, Kay, Dan, Erica, all got married the same month. Now all of us are going through a divorce in the same month. If she actually cares, she will do exactly what God wants and do whatever it takes to make it work. Oh, so now you're saying because, marriage, you're supposed to do whatever it takes. Oh, like you did whatever it takes in your first marriage? Yeah, you're cheating on her? Like, come on. Anyway, you win. I'll allow you to completely destroy me, continue to hurt me, and will, I'm hurt. You leave. Or maybe when I'm hurt, you leave. But I'll beg for you back and do whatever it takes if you will come home. This Asheville trip could change everything. You'll never find another man who loves you enough to do whatever it takes after you treat him the way you treated me. Thank you for being kind to me in spite of my craziness. Please show her texts. And then they say, Mica, who she's with, says, if you unblock her, she can message you herself. So I guess he blocked Mica. Tell her we could go on our Asheville vacation that's already paid for if she comes home. It starts tomorrow morning. And then you see this is a little bit later now. He says, if she will come home today and we go on our $3,000 vacation. And then this is them responding. If you love each other like you both say you do, then you have got to let her be. She even said she was hoping to meet you at the hot air balloon before all this show out happened, because it was something you were really excited to do. Let her have her space. We are products of our parents. She's doing what we do, reclusing for a short period of time in a safe, supportive environment, luckily. Just be happy she has that, and she's not somewhere where everyone is saying give up and run. I did not involve our family or Matthew yesterday out of respect for Mica, because I know you all can work through your issues if you're both willing to work on it. But that will not come by threats. And then, like I said, there's some, we're not getting all of them. There's just like random ones. And this, so they say armed? Question mark. And he says, Mica can fix all of this. And they say, this doesn't help anything. Threats and intimidation only makes matters worse. He says, I don't care. Driving, can't text, thanks. And then they say, if you come here, the cops will be here waiting. If you stay home, they don't need to be involved. You can't make a threat about being armed and come. Wait, where is that one with being armed? Hold on a second. Because I saw it somewhere where he says he's armed. I don't know where it's at. Anyway, everyone, please don't share it. They can always call the church or email me. My old number will be deleted in a few weeks. Thank you. Can you please have Mica call me or Charlotte? And then 8 minutes later, I am OTW to your house, on the way to your house. Be there at 12:55. Say, we don't want drama here. That was the pretense of Mica coming. Why are you texting me instead of her? She was just coming for a visit until Tuesday. I even asked her first, did you know she was coming? And was there going to be any issues? She said you all having a little bit of trouble, but you guys were fine. And she was just coming for a few days and you knew where she was going. You are sending these corrective kind of sounding messages, but still starting with an ultimatum. If you come home today to what? Changed locks, shut off phone, and clothes in the bags? She didn't leave you in her mind. She told everyone she was coming back Tuesday. She told me she was just wanted to get away for a few days, Tuesday at the latest. Your brain is playing tricks on you to reach and assume the worst scenarios. It happens to all of us, but you have to be able to control yourself. And he said, every single piece of everything Mica owns or has any part is in back of my truck. Ask her where she wants it. 2 option. On the outskirts of your property or the trash. Goodwill. There is nothing left inside of the house that has any attachment to her. 20 large garbage bags, and she can choose where she wants it if she calls me. If not, it's at your place. It's gone. And then, if she comes home today, tell her I'm sorry. Are you showing her this? Yeah, he is. And then this is... Hold on, I forget what... JP, it says, Victoria may lose her job and she's a great teacher. The best. So let's believe God's word for all of us. Let me know when you want to go flying on the new plane used for missions. Yeah, sure it is, JP. We really appreciate you as a teacher. Wait, who is this about? I don't know. I need you to remove your comments about my wife in my wife's Facebook page, or it could affect your wife's job. Her contract states she hates we don't allow strife in or outside of our school with any employee or member. I'm trying to figure out. This is JP. Hey, First Lady, remember we love Jesus, so we believe in his word and restoration. Unfortunate because of all the things that your family is posting all over Facebook. Wow, somebody must have just took something down right in the moment. It just went to, hold on a second. That was weird. That was weird. And then somebody freaking located from hold on, from his plane. You know how you could do it on that website? So they like found information on his plane, it looks like. Wait, wrong one. Right here. Says fixed wing engine, 4 seats, Solid Rock Ministries. So here's his plane. And then somebody was able to show the movement. So on April 6th, he went to Knoxville to Rocky Mount. April 4th, Knoxville, NA, and not available on March 24th. February, Winder to Knoxville. January, Winder to Winder. Canton, Ohio? No, there's other Cantons. But July, Canton to Winder. Panama City to Canton. So, I wonder if it went far, if they were able to track it as recent as April 27th, though. This is April 6th, Knoxville, Tennessee to Rocky Mountain, North Carolina. Huh. Just, it makes you wonder, like, wonder where he was going with that. All right, what else do I want to share? Hold on. I already did that. I think we're going to watch. Have you guys watched the Nancy Grace yet? It's pretty good. The one with this case, I'm going to play that. It's long, but we could stop and talk as we watch it. Oh, let me play this real quick though. I just wanted to point out one more time. Let's look at that one interview where it looks like he has her necklace on. I just want to play that again, kind of look at it, because I actually haven't watched it since.
In mourning after the unexpected death of a local pastor's wife. ABC 15's Mike Owen has been working for you to learn more about the life and death of Micah Miller. He joins us now live outside their church in Market Common. So, Mike, what have you learned today?
Remember, this was from that first day, but it's the one where John does the quick little interview.
Micah's friends tell me that she led women's ministry and worship right here at Solid Rock Church. While the death investigation is ongoing, her friends can't believe she's gone and they want answers. But her husband tells me she had a long struggle with mental illness. Micah Miller died last week in the Orem community. The investigation into her death started at Lumber River State Park on Saturday. The Robeson County Sheriff's Office says they're actively investigating how the 30-year-old died. Her friends remembering how she lived her life.
She had a heart for missions. When she went to Africa this time, she just fell in love. That was her heart. She'd do anything for anybody.
She's survived by her husband, the pastor at Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach. He says Micah dreamed of opening up a school in Africa and was always giving to others.
She was probably the greatest wife anyone could ask for. She was incredibly affirming. We spent every night together for hours just talking and talking and talking.
Liar. But look, definitely, actually, I should screenshot. Well, we already know it looks really, it looks like it's the same necklace. Oh, he's got a picture of her right here. How convenient back there. Made sure that was showing. You didn't talk to her every night. You guys were barely talking, and she was not even. Ugh.
We spent every night together for hours just talking and talking and talking.
Miller says her death was a suicide, but a cause of death has not been released. But many of her friends are struggling to come to terms with that.
This has to be at least looked into deeply. There's got to be some accountability here because it's a tragic life was lost, and it's not just as simple as somebody had some mental issues.
But Miller says Micah battled mental health issues for years, even speaking openly about it to the congregation.
She had struggled with suicide before, and each time, helped her through it, took her to her doctor, and we got through it, and everything was fine. And she even gave a few testimonies here at church. We have on video of times where she had battled suicide, but God took care of her and got her through it.
For families dealing with mental health issues, the pastor at Solid Rock Church has a message.
The second you see any type of sign, get them to a doctor. The second you see it, don't wait.
Okay, I just wanted to play that again because that's the only interview we have. He won't do anymore. Okay, so let's watch some Nancy Grace. All right, here we go. Have you guys been able to hear my video just besides that one that I redid it and then we listened, right? Everybody else has been able to hear it. Maybe the person that said they can't hear, maybe come back in and come back through. Yeah, it was just that one. And then we got it to fix. Oh, okay. Now you're killing it. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let's watch Nancy Grace. I love her. I love her attitude. She's awesome.
Tonight, gorgeous pastor's wife, Mica Miller, spoke through tears about abuse on Facebook, supporting victims of domestic violence. Mica meets her future husband, age just 15. And when they marry, she takes on his 5 children as her own. But cracks emerge in the marriage to a highly popular and charismatic South Carolina pastor, John Paul Miller. Then the shock discovery of Mica's body in a remote state park, Mica shot dead. And in the last hours, a war of words explodes as Mica's loved ones insist she did not commit suicide. And also in the last hours, Pastor John Paul Miller booted from that Myrtle Beach church. What do they know that we don't know? Tonight, Mica's devastating 911 call. And P.S., did the preacher have a girlfriend? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us.
In case the music is copyrighted. I'll turn it on in a minute. A lot of times they have their own copyright for music.
Women that have reached out to me about situations of abuse. And I just want to tell you what a lot of people have told me lately and reminded me, because I think I forgot. I knew, but I pushed it in the back of my head just because of my situation. But you are the bride of Christ. God hates divorce. But why? According to everybody I've asked and the scriptures that I've found, it's because it hurts people. But does abuse hurt people? How do you think God feels about that?
Having worked for 9 years on the hotline at the Battered Women's Center, prosecuting during the day, hearing her speaking like that just twists my heart. She referred to her, quote, situation. What situation was that? And why did this beautiful young wife end up dead, shot dead in a remote state park? Joining me an all-star panel, but I just want to establish, how did these two ever get together? Listen.
John Paul Miller and Mica Miller are married in 2017, and at the age of just 23, Mica Miller becomes stepmom to John Paul Miller's 5 children. JP Miller is considerably older than his beautiful young wife, but they move forward like a match made in heaven at first. Like many marriages outside the home, everybody seems happy, but inside the home, not so much. Mica Miller decides she has had enough of Pastor John Paul Miller and files for divorce.
Joining me an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now. But first, I want to go to former South Carolina news anchor in Myrtle Beach, investigative reporter, Michael Milley. Thank you for being with us. Number one, a happy marriage. What, the 3 of them? Mica, the preacher, and his girlfriend. Okay, that said, what is her situation that she refers to on that very haunting Facebook post?
Well, thanks, Nancy. Good to talk with you. You know, living in this community too, we're just inundated with feelings, suggestions, ideas, and passion on both sides of this terrible, terrible case. That family dynamic, it really came to light lately as we saw some affidavits come out from siblings.
Michael Milley, listen, I've got 1 hour with you. No time for euphemisms, no time to whitewash anything. What do you mean the family dynamic just came to light? What family dynamic? The girlfriend? The alleged abuse? What?
Well, it's a combination. Let's start with first Mica and JP, as she referred to him, to her siblings. Her siblings put together some affidavits in court in seeking ownership of her estate. In those affidavits, we've just kind of learned a little more detail in that her siblings say, look, she told us in no uncertain terms about the abuse. She told us she feared for her life. It got so graphic and detailed as to her saying to the effect, if someone finds me with a bullet in my head, it was JP, John Paul. These are statements that came out. There's even
Can you
some more
slow down, Michael
suggestions
Milley? Michael Milley, hold on just one moment. That is a lot of information. I've found a lot of it in investigating the case, but I want you to just, if you don't mind, would you repeat what you just said that you learned from reading affidavits by family?
Sure thing. Just kind of looking through the affidavits submitted by Mica's family, her siblings, to say the least. There's a mention of abuse. There's a mention of her fear for her safety, and it gets even so graphic and so detailed as a mention of, quote, to an extent here, if I end up dead with a bullet in my head, it was JP who did it. JP, John Paul, her estranged husband. This is all coming out. In addition to that, we're getting some more information from some other siblings who talk about a March 11th incident where there was police reports filed for vandalism to her car, her tires shredded, then a GPS monitoring device.
Hold on.
discovered on that
You're giving me so much information. And I've got questions on every single thing that you just said with me. You're hearing very well-known investigative reporter joining us out of South Carolina, Michael Maley, with me, an all-star panel, but I'm going to introduce them as we go along. To Brian Foley joining me, board-certified criminal defense attorney and former chief prosecutor, Harris County, Texas. Never a lack of business there, and author of What Prosecutors Don't Tell You. Brian Foley, how many cases did you prosecute and or defend where the dead woman says, if I turn up dead, he did it? Because I have had many. And sure enough, by the time I got a hold of them, they were homicide cases, Brian Foley.
Yeah, in domestic violence situations, we often have these warning signs. We have victims that will reach out to friends or family members and say, hey, if something happens to me, it wasn't me. I'm not going to commit suicide. And so apparently that did happen in this case, but we've got some facts, from the police investigation that look like it is a suicide. So if I'm JP's lawyer, I'd be singing from the rooftops what the police have reported.
Well, yeah, but right now, I'm curious about what else the family has to say in sworn statements. And a legal word, the so-called preacher has not been officially charged. He has not been named a POI, person of interest, or a suspect. But I want to move forward with what Michael Maley, investigative reporter joining us out of South Carolina, is saying. He's talking about problems Mica had just before her death. Listen to our friends at Crime Online.
4 months after filing for divorce, Mica Miller pulls back the divorce papers, only to file new divorce papers weeks later. After filing for divorce a second time, Mica Miller feels like she's being stalked. Her tires are slashed twice in a week's time. Police discover a tire deflator has been used on the tires. Taking her car to the dealer for service, a mechanic finds a tracking device placed in Mica Miller's car. Flat tires, tracking device. Mica Miller tells police she's afraid for her life. She knows who the suspect is, but police tell her there's nothing they can do. Police file reports, but no charges are filed.
Okay, hold on. A tracking device on her car, her tires slashed. She calls police to report it. They show up at a gas station where she is to get the tracking device off her car. At that time, the alleged stalker drives by very slowly in his Honda. She says, if you find me dead, he did it. The preacher that's not a suspect, her husband. I mean, to Scott Johnson joining me, forensic psychologist, author of When I Love You Turns Violent. Scott Johnson, I mean, other than this initial ruling that Mica committed suicide with a bullet to her head, which of course, as we all know, is highly unlikely statistically that a female of her age would shoot themselves in the face. That said, Scott Johnson, textbook stalking, textbook.
Very textbook. And, she's describing incidents which sound crazy, and yet there's evidence to back it up. And so when people get controlling and possessive, in particular with narcissism in this person's position with the church and in the community, she's a piece of property that just will not be let go.
Michael Maley, this is going to be hard for you because you have so much information to give us. But Michael, yes, no, did the preacher, the pastor, did he have a girlfriend? I want to establish that.
Yeah, Nancy, that's right. So there's several reports out there that say not only did he have a girlfriend, but that girlfriend allegedly may have been his alibi on the day that they discovered Micah's body.
Wait, hold on. My head's blowing off right now. Let me just try to reattach that. Here at the top of my page, what is his alibi? Where was he? Okay, I did not see that coming, but thank you. I'm going to split your answer. I'm going to bifurcate it and go back to Scott Johnson. Boy, do we need to shrink. Hold on. So all this business you were saying about stalkers are controlling and possessive and they won't let the woman go. H-E-double-L. If he had a girlfriend, why did he care if she got a divorce? Explain that to me.
Right, but you have the misogynistic bullshit, if you will, there, that he's God's gift to women. He can have as many women as he wants, but once he has them, he possesses them. And so to indoctrinate the new girlfriend to maybe even stalk and or help kill her would not be out of the realm of what we've heard from controlling domestic batters at all.
And this all started by me very calmly asking Michael Manley, investigative reporter, what Mica's family said in their affidavits. Man, you threw me a hardball. So the girlfriend, you believe, is going to be the pastor's alibi at the time Mica was shot in the head?
The official police report says that that JP was with a woman. So there's speculation of some sorts, but a lot of allegations suggest this is the woman who he was with. He was in Charleston, not in North Carolina, where Mica's body was discovered, not from where the 911 call was tracked in that Lumber River State Park. So this is the suggestion is that no, he's with a woman. And police corroborate that he was romantically involved with a woman at this time. So that's where he was. And another note, Nancy, that did come up that may or may not be interesting is when asked before the press briefing where they were, the Robeson County Sheriff's detectives offered to meet separately JP. Apparently through his attorney, he refused to meet them, said he would take any information delivered to him here in Horry County, Myrtle Beach area. So,
wait, Michael,
you know,
the preacher refused to meet who?
Robeson County Sheriff's deputies, through his attorney, through notes that I'm reading, he said, I don't wish to meet you in Robeson County. I'll be here in Horry County if you want to deliver information to me. That's kind of the gist of what we're getting.
Joining us and all-star panel, a war of words exploding between Mica's loved ones and the suggestion that Mica committed suicide. They better have some really strong evidence that this was suicide. Back to you, Michael Maley, and I'm about to bring in Irv Brandt, very respected former U.S. Marshal Service agent, International Investigations Branch, and author of Jack Solo on Amazon. Michael, let me understand the alibi of the preacher who is not a suspect and has not been named a person of interest. The sheriff's office Facebook post says, quote, Miller and a female he's allegedly romantically involved with. That's one way of putting it, romantically involved. Investigators confirmed both individuals not in North Carolina the night before and day of Mica's death. Through interviews, J.P. Miller was at an athletic event in Charleston on the day of Mica's death. Let me just knock a few things down very quickly. What time of the day do we believe Mica was killed, Michael Maley?
It was the afternoon on Saturday, April 27th. The call came in around 2:45 in the afternoon.
Around 2:45 p.m., based on the 911 calls. Do you know what athletic event the husband was supposed to be at?
We don't right now, nor did authorities release any information, just that he was there with the woman he was allegedly involved with, using Robeson County detectives' words. And that video, that picture that you just saw, the truck coming back, that was apparently in the afternoon coming back to Horry County, I believe on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of the timeline that the authorities have released and put out. and the whereabouts and locations of.
Whoa. That truck is tinted black. How do I know who's in it? And also, how do I know he was at an athletic event? And was he there the whole time? And how far away is that event from where Mica was killed?
Oh yeah, dude, he did. Actually, I want to watch that instead. I was going to actually, hold on a second. But I do encourage you to watch this Nancy Grace thing, episode. But I want to watch, that'd be a little advertising, the memorial service. I was going to actually watch the one for Mica from the family from like last week that on the same channel that I never got to. But they just put up John Paul's memorial. Hold on, let's watch this real quick. 1 second, guys. I haven't got to watch it yet. 1 second, let me play it. Where's it at? From Fitz News. That article that I read the other day. That's who has this let me know if you guys could hear. Dang it, hold on. I gotta do it again. My OCD, I feel like I didn't share the audio. Let me try one more time. Okay. Share. It's on. Okay, you should be able to hear the audio when I share it. Okay. Let's see. This is John Paul's memorial service for Mica.
God bless you. We welcome you to a celebration of life for my little girl. I call her Sister Miller on today. And we came to celebrate. I know it's a time of sadness and we are missing someone very special, but we want to celebrate the life that she lived, okay? And I was close to that for a short period of time. And so we want to celebrate today. So I just want to start off with scripture and prayer. Then I'm going to share very briefly how she impacted my life. And I pray that it would be a blessing to you as well. Amen. I would like to read from First Thessalonians chapter 4, beginning at verse 13. It says, "But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that you sorrow not, as those that have no hope. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, so then also them also which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him when he come. For this we say unto you by the word of God, that we which are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain until the coming shall be caught up with them in the air to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we forever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort you one another with these words. Let us pray. Father God, in the name of Jesus, God, we thank you. We praise you, Lord, for this time. God, we thank you, oh God, for the time that you have allowed us to spend with Mica, Lord. God, we thank you, oh God, for the light that she brought into our life. God, we thank you for the way that you use her in this short time that she was here, oh God. God, I pray, oh God, that you strengthen the family and the church body, God, that have come to love her, oh God.
Skip some of this,
Strengthen
guys.
them today, oh God,
I
and
can't.
assure them that you would. I want to read chapter 3 in Planet. When she came back to America, what it would usually take people many months to do to put together, she put it together in the matter of weeks.
Who is he talking about, Mica, though? Hold
She
on.
planted a seed in that ministry in Africa. And she was so excited about that seed that she planted. When she came back to America, what it would usually take people many months to do to put together, she put it together in the matter of weeks, establishing a ministry in Africa, in Kenya, in Africa. And the scripture says, one plant, one water, and God give the increase, and show you the effectiveness of what she planted, what God used her to plant. That seed has already been watered. For last Sunday, there was a team that have already been to Africa from this church to water that seed that she planted. And yes, even while the seed was being watered, God was giving to the increase. And that's because of her. That's because of her. That's because of the passion. I wish I could have captured the passion that she had for what she was doing. She would always tell me she was always wanted to know more about the Bible. So she would say things to me. And when she would, I would say, Mica, give me a scripture. And that stuck in her memory bank, I guess. And anytime we talked on the phone after that, she'd say, Reverend Randall, give me scripture. And that's the way she was. But I thank God for allowing me to be a part of her life for the time that I was. And I want you to remember that, because I have a question. That seed that she planted will forever grow. When they watered that seed 2 weeks ago in Africa, we was expecting about 100 children. And it ended up 300 children. And if you want to remember her that way. And I'll leave on this note. For her, that was the last part of her legacy. And the question is, what about you? What will your legacy say? She has one. I'm a witness to that she has a legacy that she planted. It has already begun to be watered. And God has already begun to give the increase. Because of her planting that seed, this church has a team that will be going back to Africa in September to actually establish a school because of the seed that was planted. So even though I know our hearts are heavy and we are sorry, may you find comfort. Maybe you find comfort in the fact that you knowing she has planted, and what she has planted will forever live.
You know, I've been speaking for many years, and for the first time, I don't really know exactly, you know, how to open or how to close or any of that. I'm just, you know, everyone knew how beautiful she was on the outside, you know, but only I think a spouse knows how beautiful that person is on the inside. So I want to take a few minutes to just kind of tell some stories and just share some things about Mica that may, I don't know, shock you or help you get to know the more intimate side of her. She was beautiful on the outside. She had won so many beauty pageants, you know, when she was young, and I have one of her trophies here where she won Saucus the Idol. Let me tell you, just to talk about how pretty she was on the outside. When she went to one school, she won the, you know, Miss whatever the school was, beauty pageant. And then her family moved and she went to another school and she won the Miss Beauty pageant for that school too. So it was the first time in that county's history that someone won, you know, both the pageants. But it really hadn't hit me. You know, I've gotten to spend, as Christians, of course, we know she's not here and in heaven, and she's, you know, worshiping and enjoying, and I hadn't even had time to look down here yet. But I got this lay next to her body and spend time with her body about 4 times this week, and each time it still didn't hit me. I thought she was going to wake up. You know, I even tried to raise her from the dead one time this week, and that morning, actually, I went to the mall later. She had bought me this dog tag, and the chain broke, so I went to the mall to get it fixed. and I saw a female about 20, 30 feet in front of me, and she was wearing one of Mica's dresses, and she had the same tattoo Mica has on her arm and the exact same hair. And out of just instinct, I screamed, "Mica!" And the girl turned around, and it was one of her sisters. And I thought I raised her from the dead. She's alive, you know. But I can't wait to see her again one day.
Real quick, what did he say? Dog, her dog tag, or was he talking about her necklace being broke? Did you guys? What did he say about that? And this is weird. Okay, first of all, yeah, people did know her beauty on the inside. Everybody didn't just know her like, oh, that's what she looks like on the outside. She's beautiful. They did know the inside and how beautiful she was on the inside as a person. So what is he even talking about? You don't have to be someone's husband or wife to look at them more than just from the outside. That makes absolutely no sense. Well, you think they could only just see the outside of her? What, like she didn't get close to anybody? Like what, huh? And what did he say about, oh, a dog tag? So it was a dog tag? So his dog tag broke? What do you mean a dog? Oh, it's a dog tag. I don't even know what a dog tag for his dog? I don't know what that means. Let me rewind it. Like, is it a dog tag he wears?
And she was wearing one of Mica's dresses, female, dog tag. And that morning, actually, I went to the mall later. She had bought me this dog tag, and the chain broke. So I went to the mall to get it fixed. And I saw a female about 20, 30 feet in front of me, and she was wearing one of Mica's dresses. And she had the same tattoo Mica has on her arm and the exact same hair. And out of just instinct, I screamed, "Mica!" And the girl turned around, and it was one of her sisters.
I bet she loved
I
that.
raised her from the dead. She's alive.
No,
you know?
you're not.
But
You don't got that
I
power,
can't wait
buddy.
to see her again one day. I'm good. So I have pictures, and I want to just tell you some stuff about her. When we fell in love, and we started dating, and it was time to get engaged. She loved public displays of affection. Like she loved that. She always wanted me to, hug her in public and stuff like that. And I'm more of a private person. But I thought, okay, we're going to get engaged. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it everything she wanted. So I set up a church baptism out on the beach so that everybody in church could be there. For us to get engaged and be a part of that. And then I had this plane that was going to fly by and have "Will you marry me?" Mica, there, and she's going to love that. And so everybody's kind of waiting. The baptism's over, and we're out there playing volleyball. And all of a sudden, the plane comes by, and I take Mica and I turn her around and I face her toward the ocean, face her toward the plane, and everybody's clapping and cheering. And she leaned back. She said, "Why is everybody cheering?" I said, "The plane, the plane, the plane, the plane." And she said, "Oh, I don't have my contacts in." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm playing this whole thing." I got a picture of that, I think, yeah, there. And I never forget her exact words were, she said, she turned around, there's the plane up there. She couldn't see it till we took a picture later. Her exact words, I'll never forget, she said, "Well, yes, anyways, yes." And she had a hoarse voice that day from singing. And but she was always excited about stuff, always so excited. I'm sorry if I'm just rambling, but I'll do my best. She loved Solid Rock. She served this place for over a decade. Her time with Reverend Randall, I think is there a picture of her and Reverend Randall somewhere there? And Reverend Randall never gets his picture taken. So when she got this, she was so excited. She sent it to me. Said, "I got Reverend Randall's picture," and we had it blown up, and it's down here. She loved that. She was the worship leader, and she was bold and confident and anointed and passionate. And the very first time I worked with her on that, I said, "Okay, I'd like you to try to lead a song, and I'll help you." And I told her what I wanted her to do. About 3 minutes later, she's like, "No, you're doing it wrong. I'm going to tell you how we're going to do it." And she said, "You missed this note. You need to fix this." She did. I thought, "Oh, my goodness." And she was the graphic designer. I think it's a picture of some of the stuff she designed. Yep. She designed every logo we got, every book, everything we ever did. And she loved doing this stuff. And she would do it with such integrity to the T. Like I would say, "Okay, it's good. We're done." She said, "Nope, it can be better." I said, "No, it can't be any better." And she'd fix the smallest thing and spend 6
8-10 hours doing that. She was in charge of women's ministry, youth.
And he probably actually in reality hated that. I bet you, like, when she's like, oh no, I want to like fix this, I bet you probably like yell at her, oh, it takes time away from him. I don't know why I have a feeling like that he probably hated that she took all that time away from him. Just an opinion. I could be totally wrong. I don't know, but it makes me wonder. Because like usually people like him they need like a lot of attention. They want a lot of attention. They want the attention on them. So if she's spending like a lot of the attention like doing her work, like I feel like that can make somebody like that mad.
Youth ministry, she loved that. She was the go-to person around here if anything was kind of messed up or needed to be fixed or needed to be created. That was the thing she did. We spent almost every night just talking and chilling out. We didn't watch much TV. She would make me turn my cell phone off, and so I turned the cell phone off, and we would talk for hours and hours about. Well, let me rephrase it. She would talk for hours and hours and hours, and sometimes I would kind of not listen. I thought, oh no, is she going to ask me a question? I'd get back in my mind to what we're talking about, and she would change subjects. She'd go from one thing to the next, and she had the idea that to buy a blow-up mattress and put it in the back of the truck. And so we would do that, and she would make us hot chocolate in these in the coffee mug things that don't get cold, and we'd go park somewhere around here where there was no lights or no houses, and just lay there and look at the stars and talk for hours. We probably did that hundreds of times over the past several years. We'd laugh a lot in the house. Our house was very loud. It was very loud, with kids and that such. Whatever room Mica was in, you could hear her in the whole house. She'd start singing about something or come up with an idea, and everybody could hear. And one night we were going to bed. It was like,
it's another thing he didn't like. Bet you any money that bothered him. He's acting like these are all like, oh, these are great qualities. I just have a feeling these are the things that bothered him.
Midnight, and normally she falls asleep first, but I fell asleep first this night, and I don't know why I started talking in my sleep. And the sentence I was saying as I was talking in my sleep, I said, "Why are you talking in your sleep, stupid?" And I did that, and then I woke up, and she said, "Did you just say, why are you talking in your sleep? In your sleep?" I said, "I think I did." And she laughed so loud. We talked about that one thing for the next 3 hours till 3 a.m. We were stayed up just talking about it. There was a time where for several months I got into those Pitch Perfect movies, the ones where the girls sing a cappella, and I thought Mica loved it. So we
Oh, I bet you did. A bunch of young girls.
watched them like almost every night. We were watching a different Pitch Perfect, and we rewatched them, and it shocked me. But after 15 times of watching the movies, one night she said, "I don't like any of these movies." And I said, "Baby, you don't?" I said, "Why didn't you tell me?" She said, "I knew you liked it, and I didn't want to, spoil the thing." I said, "You could have told me we'd watch something you wanted," but that meant a lot to me. What's the next? Oh yeah, there's designs. What's the next picture? Okay, so she loved to travel. I can't stand to travel, but she loved it. So we go wherever she wanted, and we went on a mission trip to Jamaica. It was like a 10-day mission trip, and we were in the jungles of Jamaica, and we're helping these other pastors and leaders. And there's churches that don't have ceilings and churches that are out in the woods. And it was so hot, like 110 degrees. We're sweating in everything we do. And after about 5 days, I said, "Honey, maybe we can just go home early. And, I know this is horrible. I'm so sorry that you came to me with this. I'm so sorry." She said, "Are you kidding?" She said, "I love this. This is great." I thought, oh my Lord. And she loved all the mission stuff, places where you had to use the bathroom in the woods or places where there was no air conditioning at all. She loved that kind of thing. Until towards the end of the trip on Jamaica, one of the pastor's wives pulled a mango out of a tree. And she had never had a mango before and handed it to her, and she bit it. And here's what happened just a few minutes later after that. She swole up on the mission trip. Let's see, what's the next picture? Puerto Rico. So she loved Puerto Rico. She'd ride.
Wow, he laughed like he's laughing almost it was kind of like in a weird way, like laughing at her misery or pain. But I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into that, but it almost seemed like he enjoyed that as she got all swollen up and it probably like stopped her being able to do stuff for the rest of the trip or like slowed her down a little bit.
Ride horse. She loved adventurous stuff. Like it was always something really adventurous. Riding a horse. What's the next one? Riding a four-wheeler out in the woods. What's the next one? doing some kind of thing with the rope she wanted to do. And all these things scared me. All these things I would tell her, like, I don't think this is safe, honey. Like, I'm a lot older than you. I don't know if I should be doing this. What's the next picture? She wanted to do the candlelight thing out by the ocean. She loved that. She loved nature. Loved nature. So we went to Mexico. So my boys, the ones that were in college, they said, Dad, we're going to Cancun on spring break, with all of our college friends. I said, okay, have fun. Micah said, we should go. I said, I don't know if we should do Cancun with all the college kids, but we did. And we were on a bus with all these college kids and going to do different things. And I'll tell you a great story about Mexico. One night, her and I, we were riding on a moped, just looking at everything around. And there was this hole in the wall, like looking nasty restaurant. And it said on there, tonight, karaoke. And I said, let's just check that place out. And we went in. Man, it was packed. I mean, Mexicans everywhere. You look, not a single white person, not a single black person, and none of them spoke English. We couldn't even order the food because everyone was Spanish. And they were up there singing karaoke, all Mexican songs. And I said, honey, go see if there's a song in English that you could sing. She said, I'm not doing that. I said, no, you'd be great. So I went up there and I signed her name. And I put that song Sunday morning. And next thing I know, in this place, I mean, it is packed. People are standing up. There's no seats. And they said in broken English, Mica, Milar, Sunday morning or something like that. And so she gets up there and as soon as she starts singing, the whole place just stops and does this. And I thought, oh no, she was right. They're not going to like her. As soon as they get to the chorus of Sunday morning, everyone in the restaurant stood up with their beers and started singing in broken English with her, the chorus of Sunday morning. When she got done, they all screamed trying to tell her to stay up there. So she sang another song. Then they wanted to stay there, she sang another song. She sang 5 songs in a row in English, and every one of them sang the songs with her. And that was a great memory. She loved that. What do we got after that? Disney, she loved traveling anywhere. And I said, put me in a wheelchair because I can't walk another foot. And she loved it. What's the next one up there? So any picture you see, it was her idea to take the picture. I'm not a picture guy. And if I'm in the picture, she would tell me how to stand, how to smile. If it wasn't good, she'd delete it and say, we're redoing it. She'd get tourists to take our picture. And I say, okay, thank you. She said, oh no, this isn't good. Give it back to them. And they do it again, But she told me she was so creative. Everything she did was so creative. What's the next picture? What's the next picture? She'd stop. We'd be on the way to like a show or something. She said, stop, I got to get a picture. I said, we're going to be late. She said, I don't care. What's the next picture? Next picture. So one of the things she did for me is I'm a comic guy, right? So this is things she did that was just out of the givingness of her. She dressed up like Mystique, the last one. So the next picture, she loved this picture. She thought that was the funniest picture in the world. And when her and I take it back to the other one, I want to see it. When we go places like this, everybody asked to have a picture with her. Everywhere we went, they asked to have a picture with her. Okay, next one's a Spider Girl picture. She did that. And I'll show that. Okay, keep going. Wonder Woman, that was her favorite. Everybody knew her as Wonder Woman. Oh my goodness. Okay, what's after that? In Bermuda, she loved Bermuda. That was a picture of that. Next. Oh, so Mica loved doing dangerous things as well. So she loved skydiving, and she would beg me to do these things with her. And I said, I have children. I can't do this kind of stuff. What if something happens to me? And so I said, I'll do indoor skydiving, right? So we took the boys, and we didn't, but even I decided not even to do that either. I said, I'm going to stay on the ground. But we did that many times. So this is the day she decided to jump out of a plane for the first time. She did it several times. But this first time, my stomach was in knots. I was in the bathroom. I'm texting her, please don't do it. I don't think you should jump out of the plane. This is not something that humans should do. Here she is, how excited she is. I'm about to jump out of a plane. I'm drinking a coffee. And that was pretty much her life story right there. She was so excited, man. She jumped out of the plane many times. What's the next picture we got? Oh, there's the boys are so funny on our vacations. What's the next one? She was all big into tattoos, and I cannot stand tattoos because they hurt and I don't like pain. And the first time we went, she had gotten the 2 crosses, and she begged and begged and begged for me to get the matching tattoo. So we went to the tattoo guy, and I said, listen, I don't like pain. I said, can we start with the smaller one? That way, if it hurts too bad, we can just stop there. And I discovered that while I was doing this and not looking, she was telling the guy, start with the big one. And so we started with the big one. I was like, oh my goodness. And then after that, I discovered this numbing cream you can buy online where you can put on you and you don't feel the tattoo. So after that, I said, okay, I'll do whatever you want. And so we had our marriage vows. And then what's the next one after that? Oh, so Africa. You know what? Before I talk about that, I want to talk about something else. So she was the greatest gift giver. All my life, I never enjoyed birthdays or Christmases. I thought it was a waste of money, waste of time because someone gets you something, thank you, and you don't. But she was so thoughtful with her gifts that when we got married, I would look forward every birthday and every Christmas, just waiting to see what she came up with. And amazing gifts, amazing gifts. But one of the greatest gifts she ever gave was so special. I'm a comic book collector, and you get them graded, when they're worth a lot of money. And rarely do you see a 10. Normally they're 9, 9.8 is the best you can get. And my favorite female character is She-Hulk. And so for the past few years, she would go and she put herself as She-Hulk on there, created this whole thing, painted herself and did this outfit and all, and would make these comics for me. And that just meant so much to me. We had them displayed in the house, and she was just the best gift giver in the world. And I guess one more thing I'll say, and then I'm so sorry that I'm nervous. I'm so sorry. It hasn't really still hit me yet. She would write poetry. And I thought, what kind of woman, writes poetry? And she just write poetry. And so I want to read one of the more recent poems she wrote. She was so creative. She had a note field on her phone with just tons and tons of poems that she'd write for the family. And this one, she said, this one was actually a birthday present she gave. She said, it's a movie in my head, but I wish it were real. I see you on the playground, tell you how I feel. Give me a tiny flower that you picked days ago and say I was scared, but now I know. We grow up slow, but the days go by fast. This crush we have still seems to last. Our friends would poke fun. They'd say she's not the one. You should try some other guys. Maybe your feeling will change in time. But we stick together, hoping this could be forever. Passing notes in school just isn't enough, and keeping our hands off each other is tough. Kissing all night under the stars. We have a secret place we like to call ours. A house made of sheets and rope and stick, but to us it feels more lasting than brick. Now it's college time, but we both know that's dumb. Why go our separate ways when we're having so much fun? Excuse me, I can't see. Driving until there's no more road, singing Garth Brooks and Billy Joel. So we do what we do best, drive, sing, and play. We see every famous landmark along the way. I look up in the sky, so happy with my life, and a plane flies by. Mica, will you be my wife? A moment of destiny I couldn't have planned better, that I got to marry my crush forever. And that's nothing. She was so creative. It was just always just coming out of her. The Africa school, she always had different ideas. She'd come home with a different idea every other day. I want to create a water bottle. I want to, make peace in the world, like these different things she'd come up with. And some I was taught through counseling to just say, let's pray about it for 2 weeks and then we'll talk about it. And I learned after that, she'd forget about it after 3 days, or if it was a real thing that she actually wanted to do, it would stay with her. And so she came back from the Africa trip and she said, I want to start a school in Africa. And I said, okay, let's pray about it for a few weeks and see if that's what God wants us to do. I said, because it seems impossible. It's not like you can talk to the Africans during the day because the time difference. So you have to send them a message and then wait another day and they return and wait another day and all that. So I said, let's talk about it in 2 or 3 weeks. She came to me 2 weeks later, said, I got it already. I have somebody that's going to make the food. I have the teachers we can hire. I have the price of what it's going to be. I have the location. I have the transportation. I have everything we need, curriculum and all. I said, how did you do? She said, I've been working hard. I said, okay, then I said, let's do it. We'll do it. And our goal was 50 to 100 kids. And when we sent our team just a few weeks ago, there were over 300 children that came out of the woods, literally just started walking from miles away just to be part of the school that Mica made. And of course, it's dedicated to her on the Dare to Care missions. But she had ideas like that all the time. I mean, just all the time. I can't even, if I had 10 hours today, that wouldn't be enough time to tell you all the great things about her and what it was like to be in an intimate relationship with her. Um, I still can hear her voice, and I can still picture her just walking in the front door. And um, I think that might be, so I'm gonna close with is there any more pictures I forgot? Is that it? That's it. Oh, there's the picture of the family. Yeah. She was a great stepmom. In fact, she did so much work with the kids all the time. She was the one that would always help pick them up from school and get their food. And um, she'd take Salem, my daughter, all the time to get their nails done or to go to Lululemon or all these special girly things. And I appreciated that from the very beginning. Not once did she ever complain about um, me having 5 kids. I can't believe. I just can't believe. So we're going to close with a parody. It's funny that we're showing the parodies because she didn't really like doing them, but she did it because she loved the church. And we'd be at home working on a parody, and she'd say, "Let's work on this new worship song." I said, "Oh, I really like the parody. Let's do the parody." And that meant a lot to me that she was always willing to do those. So we're going to show one, and then after that, Reverend Randall will pray. And this was my favorite parody that she did. I have nothing.
If I don't have dare look away from me. Don't you dare look away from me. I have nothing, nothing, nothing. If I don't have if I don't have you,
Imagine being married to that. It was like that in our house all the time. Y'all stand to your feet, and Pastor Randall's going to close in prayer. We'll play a song as we exit, and if you would like to, if any of you, close to Mica would like to gather in the fellowship hall, there'll be food and refreshments for you. Thank you. And if any of you want any of these pictures, feel free.
I'm on mute. Hold on a second.
Let's pray.
Let's just hold on a second. Let's just rewind that. That was like, that seemed like that could be like a scene from like a creepy like horror movie or something. Right here, watch this. Look at his face.
Imagine being married to that. It was like that in our house all the time.
Like a guy just ready of like losing it, and like on the last of his, like you're just ready to like lose it and like go just crazy. Like what? Yeah, I think he needs some help. I'm not even trying to say that to be mean, but there's not, something is not right in that guy's head.
Y'all stand to your feet, and Pastor Randall's going to close in prayer. We'll play a song.
Anyway, wow. Yeah, that was, I love the singing. I loved her singing. Like I would play more of it, but the whole copyright, but I was like, you know what? It's worth a copyright. I'm just gonna let it play. If I get copyright, oh well. But there's like more that I could play, but of like on their site where they do the singing or whatever. But yeah, I'm sure he thinks she was singing for him. You know what I'm saying? But no, she was singing for God, and that wasn't about you, buddy. All right. Well, I'm gonna end because we're gonna eat some dinner, corn on the cob. Oh my God, I love corn on the cob. Wait, what else? And just some salad. It's gonna be like all vegetables. I might do another live either later because I want to do the plaque, but I just want to do that like more of like an open type discussion. I'm sorry we didn't play all the Nancy Grace, but I wanted to watch this, and I knew I didn't have like a ton more time. So, but go check out the rest of the Nancy Grace. We watched about half of it. It's really good. And then, like I said, either later tonight, yeah, maybe later tonight, we could do the plaque. We'll do like a random, like open true crime. We could just talk about different cases. Sarah had a good idea, but I don't know if I have time to get that ready, Sarah. Like the basically spin and like have different ideas of stuff to play. I don't know. That would take a minute to get prepared though. We'll see. Let's see how much time, like how long it will take. I could try to get that prepared, but yeah, so we could open the plaque maybe later, and then yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to think. I do think I mean, I know there's a lot of weird things. I mean, I do think ultimately he is the one to blame for what happened, but I don't know why I do think that she's the one that pulled the trigger. I do. But I mean, he did like symbolically or however you want to say it. Like it was definitely, he drove her to that, which is horrible. Because like nobody in the park saw anybody with her. You know what I'm saying? They saw her by herself. There's just too many things that I do think she's the one that did it, but maybe he was harassing her on the phone. I don't know. There might be more to it. I mean, I can't say with like 100%. That's just from what I've learned. I do think that it's more leaning towards maybe she did, but it doesn't excuse like what he's done, because he could have been behind it. Maybe he talked to her, maybe there was something even in the moment. We know he was behind it from the years of abuse. I mean, it was driving her, this beautiful soul, like it was driving her like to be depressed and to probably feel worthless because what he was putting in her head. But I kind of want to know, like, did they have any contact that day? Where was he, like, you know what I'm saying? That day, was there any contact between them where something happened that day? I wonder. I don't know. I just don't feel like he was there that day, or that anybody, I could be wrong. Yeah, I just feel like there's more. I feel like there is I mean, there's more to it, maybe that there is something that could be left out, but I don't know. I'm still like, I'm having trouble believing that somebody went there, did that. Nobody saw that other person, if somebody else did it. And then they faked a phone call to 911. Like, there's too many things. It's possible, but there's too many things that makes me think that I think she did do it, but I just think that there are some things that maybe are hidden for some reason, that they're not being honest. The one thing that really bothers me, though, is the fact that he insisted on her cremation. I do not get that, because why would he care? If that's true, supposedly, like, the family member said that, right? That he said that they couldn't see her unless if they signed off on her cremation. I'm not sure if it's been confirmed that happened. But I think it's been confirmed that she was cremated and that it was what he wanted. So why, though? That part doesn't make any sense to me. That's why I think maybe something had happened in the days prior that he's hiding, that maybe, like, was there some kind of, he could have drugged her, or he could have did something. There could be something going on, but I just don't think anybody else was there with her at the park, because nobody saw any, like, they said she was alone. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes me think, if she was alone, I mean, somebody would have saw, right? I mean, I'm still gonna be looking into it, but I just thought I'd give you, I mean, that's just where my head is now. It's just my opinion. I mean, I could be totally wrong. That's just me. I don't know. I don't know any more than anybody else, but the cremation, that bothers me. That really bothers me, because I mean, why? So I wonder if something happened in the days before, or that day, or something that they're hiding, where it would be able to be found in her system, and there was something that they're hiding. But as far as, I don't know, like maybe even a text or something. Because, we've seen, Nancy Grace brings that up on her interview, guys. She brings up, or did we get to that part where she's like, there was that other case where somebody else got charged for the other person unaliving? You remember that case? Well, she brings up that and says, just because he doesn't have to be there for somebody to be charged for somebody's unaliving. Like, if somebody forces somebody, even by, like, talks them into it, tells them to do it, they could be charged. And we have seen that in the cases, or in the one case. I think there isn't there two cases that happened, for sure, that one case. And she brings it up because the one guy's like, well, we know he wasn't there, he was far away. She's like, but wait, he could still be held accountable even if he wasn't physically there. If he did something, if there's like a text they're keeping from us, a phone call, or even, it wouldn't even have to been that day necessarily. You know what I'm saying? For him, like, to tell her to do it, or, make her feel like that's the only option, he could still be charged. I mean, we've seen it happen. So I don't know. But yeah, Nancy, yeah. No, supposedly they said there was no autopsy. They said there was no autopsy, right? That's where I read somewhere. I mean, because they just, the the gunshot wound. I don't think they performed autopsy from like different posts. I don't know for sure. It hasn't been like officially, I haven't seen like an official release of that. But here's this real quick. I wanted to share this with you guys. Hold on. I forgot about this. Give me 1 second. I found where they ask, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Let me share. Okay, look. He answers the one that shared that video of John Paul on the ground acting ants crawling on me, acting all weird. He says right here, he says, the last thing on my mind when doing this is having to confirm that it's JP. So I guess people are hassling him saying it's not him. It's obviously him. You could tell. Anyway, or dispute his vehicle at the time. But I can see how the date is reasonable. I don't have the specific date. I copied this onto a separate drive. I had to mute the two individuals' names out of the video for privacy. So I don't have the exact date, but it was between the back half of 2015 and middle of 2016, I believe. Wasn't expecting to have to put my hand on a Bible and swear it. The important part is the video, his character actions and his character's action. Oh. And I'm sorry, guys. I know the winning makes it difficult to get through. Whining, maybe? He has pulled this act in many different ways. He would pull up to the house on crutches, but limping with the wrong foot. Oh my God. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my God. He used his health as something to dangle in front of his ex-wife, kids, and wife's parents to get some form of sympathy to take the spotlight off of what he had done. See, that's exactly what I said. It's probably, if it is that time period, it's probably to take that spotlight off of what he did to make it look, to get some sympathy instead of people like persecuting him for cheating on his wife, to be like, oh my God, look at him. What's wrong with him? What he does doesn't make any sense unless you know a narcissist or educate yourself on the patterns, tendencies, and how they operate. Yes, he was prescribed medication. No, this is not the doctor's fault. Towards the end, he tried to blame it on the church and his mom. I know that everyone wants more, but it will take time for people to make the decision to come forward. We live in a day where someone's statement doesn't mean anything anymore. A picture can be faked. And even with this video, there are people saying it's an actor. So how do you expect a victim that only has her statement as proof to come forward? Yeah, it's crazy how people, that's kind of how I feel like I went through a little bit of that with the whole Shonda and stuff. It's like they want answers. People want answers, but then when you get it, it's like, how dare you give him a platform? I know it's a little bit different, but he's going through that. It's like what he's saying is like people want, victims, more people come out. And then when they do come out, it's like, well, wait a minute, they're lying or that's not true. It's like the same thing. It is kind of the same thing I went with Paul's fiance, baby girl. Like, we want the answers, but how dare you talk to her? Oh my God, she's friends with her. Ooh, can you ask her this? Get us the answers. Oh my God, you're giving her a platform. You suck. Hey, can you ask her this? It's like, oh, it sucks. People are hard. Anyway, all right, guys. Yeah, look tonight. I'm going to go eat and then we'll do a fun live. Well, I guess I still want to do it on true crime, just like random cases, but it'll be kind of more loose, laid back. We'll keep it open. Just maybe talk about whatever. I'll open my plaque and that'll be that. All right. You know what? Hold on. Let me do a poll. I want to know where you guys are. Hold on. Because when I was talking about how I think that I'm leaning more towards her being the one that, actually literally physically pulled the trigger. But I do still blame him for what he put her through as far as that. Like the crap he put her through is what drove her to do that. But as I was saying that, I'm thinking like, I wonder how many people, what people think. So hold on, let me just do a poll real quick. Wait, what? They have this set up different. Oh, there we go. Ask a question. Hold on. Oh, okay. I'll just put pulled the trigger. I don't know. Because like I said, like physically, I just want to know what people think real quick. I'm just curious because I don't know. I mean, I feel like, you know, I watched the Nancy Grace and she was like kind of doubting, but I think she was more doubting like that something needs to be done and that it wasn't necessarily there was something like there's something still being hidden with it all. I feel like there's still some things that don't add up, but I just think that there might be other reasons that I mean, the main reason is to protect him. I think it is to protect him, but I don't think he was there though. For some, you know, I'm not thinking he was there. I think it's something else. I don't know. I think she was there alone. I really do. But I'm going to give you guys time to vote real quick. So hurry up and vote if you have an opinion on that. And then everybody go eat some dinner after that. And we will reconvene in a few hours. I never got your email. The person that was Priscilla, I never got an email. You said you sent me an email of a call from Reddit. I never got it. Do you have the right email, by the way? I kept looking too because I'm like, ooh, a phone call or something. I wanted to hear it, but I have nothing. Wow, it's gonna be close. So right now we're going we're at 59% yes that she did. She's the one that pulled the trigger. But that's still like there's like 40% is still a lot of people that think that she didn't. And then, okay, so the really concerning things is the cremation thing. That's very concerning. Also, the thing where she tells her sister and a friend. So I think she told more than one person, right? About if I end up with a bullet in my head, it was him. That's concerning too. You know what I'm saying? For her to say that, not that long ago, from what I understand, and then she ends up with a bullet in her head, like then what are we supposed to think? She just said if I end up with a bullet in my head, it's not me. So that's another weird thing that makes you doubt. And then him wanting the cremation so bad makes you doubt it. And now it's what I heard, she's already cremated. We're never going to be able to get like a second opinion or even an autopsy. I don't think they even gave like a proper autopsy from what I saw. All right. 2 more minutes. Vote. I'm going to end it. 2 minutes. Actually, let me text my mom and see. Oh. Oh, what are you the one, Tweety? You're the one who posted the video you're talking about. What video? I don't know what video you're talking about. The video I was talking about. Hold on. What was I talking about? Oh, you're Ty. Oh, I am Ty. I thought that was a mistype. Oh, hey, Ty. Okay. Nice. Wow. I'm glad you have that video. That was so freaking interesting. Yeah, that's very concerning. So how long have you known? I'm sorry, I haven't been looking at chat very good either. How long have you known John Paul? Because that was in 15 or 16, you're guessing? So you've known him for a while before that, huh? But I thought then she was cremated. I thought that they stopped it and they got to see her. But then I swear I saw Kyler I think it was just yesterday, talking about how she was cremated then. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I swear that was just like a recent post yesterday, though. For a while. So you don't go to the church anymore? Or do you still go to the church? Yeah, I'm glad you posted it. Has he contacted you since you posted it? Dude, you should come up for an interview or just come up on panel sometime. I probably would be able to come up with a lot of questions. I'm sure chat would have a lot of questions too. It's just so, that guy is just so creepy. I don't know. I don't know. I can't. Dated his ex after the divorce. Oh, wow. Okay. So you probably heard a lot of stories from her, I bet. After reading that Daily Mail article that like they're talking about like some of the stuff in their divorce papers. Dude, some of the stuff that supposedly is in there. I want to get a copy of those to see, but they like highlighted some of the stuff. It's like about the underage girls and stuff. It's like, what the heck? I saw the one, Carol. You talking about where the sister's with the lawyer, right? Did she do another one? We watched it on the last live, actually. Wait. The Mica's father and her sister in the video aren't. Wait, maybe I didn't see that one. Thank you, Abellis. Hold on. The one I saw was I don't remember the father being in it. Hold on a second. Let me look that up. I saw the one where the sister was with her lawyer. Is that the one you're talking about? Yes, that's my email. Yeah, email me, Ty. Let me look up that News Nation though. Because if there's another one, I'd like to see it. But it might be the one that I played the other live though, to be honest. Hold on. Ashley. Because I kept checking Ashley's today to see if she had any, and unless if I overlooked it. Or unless if it's new. Yeah, is it the one? It's gotta be this one. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know. I can't find it. Send it to me. I'm on. See, I have this one right here. Okay. Well, I don't know. I can't find it. Send. Hold on. I have my other thing pulled up. Okay. Sorry, I had my, because I had the poll pulled up, so I had my YouTube side and it was echoing. But this right here, oh, my screen just went black. Okay. This is the one I played. Is it a different one? We watched that the last live. I'll have to look. I'll try to look and maybe next time because I'm going to go eat some dinner. But yeah, thanks for coming in, Ty. Yeah, email me. I definitely have some questions. All right, bye guys. I'm going to go eat some dinner. I'll see you guys in a few hours probably. Bye.